This is my manga review for the one-shot Despair Trigger by Hijihara Erubo or Erubo Hijihara. I got across this one-shot manga because it was stated in the comments of Papi no Nagai saying that this is one of the most tragic one-shot mangas ever made by Erubo Hijihara. I'm not very familiar with this author, with this mangaka. However, when I read the one-shot called Despair Trigger, I'm very impressed. It's tragic enough for me to give a 10 out of 10 on this one-shot. So spoilers ahead, if you haven't read Despair Trigger, you might want to skip this recording because it's a beautiful one-shot story about two siblings who are trying to quote-unquote survive in this apocalyptic world. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm not going to discuss the details of this manga, but I'm going to give you my impressions or thoughts on how it ended, the spoilers, as well as the storyline. Really, the main cast, the two main cast, the older sibling, I think his name is, what's his name? His name is Shin. He wanted to protect his sister very much, who is Ayumi, but then to protect her, he has to lie to her. He has to do unimaginable things like murder, mass destruction. And in doing that, the aliens, I think they're called, what are they called? Those aliens or apocalyptic aliens or monsters trying to destroy the city. They're called Ebola, I think. Whatever they are, they're very, very destructive monsters committing mass destruction, and it's a very disturbing idea. It's an apocalyptic world, but at the same time, they're trying to survive. But the way that they're trying to survive, the older sibling Shin decided to make a deal with the aliens or the Ebola just to survive, just for them to survive. But it's all a facade. It's all a lie. It's all an illusion. The trigger here is actually the despair that's gonna come out from the younger sibling, Ayumi. Whenever Ayumi screams out in pain, she becomes the mass destructive weapon to destroy a city, a whole city. And it's revealed at the end of the manga that Shin has been doing this with Ayumi for 4 times now. And their next target at the end is Russia or Moscow. To be able to lie to someone you love just because you and the sibling, both of you want to survive, it's really hell-bent. It's a disaster. It's tragic. However, it's a beautiful storyline. It's enough of a one-shot to give me chill vibes. That's it. And imagining this story as a one-shot is thrilling enough. What if this is a series which is more tragic, which is more gruesome and morbid? But to have this repetition, to have this event in repetitive circumstances going over and over again, Ayumi not being able to remember who she is after she becomes the destructive weapon and being utilized by the Ebola or the monsters, it's too cruel. Maybe that would have been better, but honestly, Shin didn't choose that direction. Shin, the older brother Shin didn't choose that direction. He actually chose to survive, live a false lie, live a false existence so that Ayumi can survive even if it's going to be a lie. It's really getting up these false hopes from Ayumi again and again, over and over again. And if it's gonna continue this way, it's gonna be hell-bent. No wonder. The slogan at the very beginning or the first page of the chapter is saying, two siblings making their way through a world with atrocities. World-weary nostalgia, 52-page one-shot, center color, from the genius behind Onmei no Kami-sama and Van Vanita's Palais. I'm not familiar with those manga, Ame no Kamisama and Vanita's Palais. However, Hijihara Erubo is a genius in storytelling because in 52 pages, he told enough just to make the readers feel the tragedy and the horror that these siblings are undergoing through just to survive in this apocalyptic world. It's a disaster, it's tragic, and to be able to live this lie over and over and again, it's really a disaster. And then at the end of the manga, the last page is saying Shin has this inner monologue that it's better to become like this, to have a false hope and to have a false existence, than becoming the enemy of the world, because that's going to be even a greater of a bigger cause. I think what Shin was trying to say in his inner monologue, that it's the lesser of two evils. Even if that is his justification, it doesn't even if that is his justification, it doesn't rationalize the fact that it's still evil despite being the lesser of the two evils. And Shin's inner monologue is that if we can live on together like this, if we can share our time in this world, I'll keep being your trigger. That hand bore the destruction of mankind. So Shin is already the villain from the beginning, the anti-hero, the anti-hero, the anti-protagonist. It's really a terrible choice to make, even if it's going to be the lesser of two evils. And this is why I love these storylines with tragic endings, even if it's just going to be one shot, because it gets a reaction out of the reader, an emotional reaction on choosing between two different choices, which are of course no less evil. And so let me know what you think of this pair trigger. Do you think that this could have been better if it's a series, or if since this is a one shot, do you think that it's enough to make the readers feel the manga? And then I realized in the colored chapter cover page, Shin's eyes are bloody red, which means of course he already had murdered and massacred many people. And I think that's indicative, or like a spoiler or a foreshadowing of the upcoming pages of this manga. They're holding hands, the two siblings, with Shin holding the hand, or the right hand, of Ayumi, who's very innocent, and imagining using that sibling or that family member of yours as a destructive weapon to kill many more people just so that both of you can survive. It's really tragic, but at the same time I really love the storyline that this mangaka has created. So let me know what you think, and if there are any more tragic one-shot stories that you can share, please comment down in the sections below. Thank you and goodbye.